Guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. And a big happy Thanksgiving to all you guys here in the United States, as well as you guys living abroad or serving abroad. Hope you guys have a great day today. So for today, I'm going to go over an article titled 16 Dating Deal Breakers Women Refuse to Tolerate After Me Too. And guys, this whole article is about how, this comes from a couple years ago, but I thought it was a good one to read because it's definitely entertaining. And it pretty much goes into all these things that will no longer be tolerated on the dating scene after M2. And I'm saying M2 because it's code for the other word I started the article with, because if I say that word too much, guess what? The video will be flagged, and I don't want that to happen. So it's going to go into all these different things, guys. Excuse me. And you're going to see as I go through this list, they're going to range from being just outright stupid to you questioning what on earth... God, I'm hoping I'm coming down with something here. What on earth does this have to do with M2? Okay, so I'm going to go through this here. You're going to see what I'm talking about. And by the way, guys, as I mentioned before, I am now on Parler and Twitter. So if you guys are on those networks, be sure to scroll down to the description, click on the links, and follow me for daily content. So the article starts off saying, it hasn't been your mama's dating scene in a long time, but the dating landscape in 2019 is remarkably different than it was even just 2 years ago. The M2 movement irreversibly changed nearly every aspect of our lives as women, including the way we date and what we choose to accept in relationships. We're thinking differently about S-word pleasure. Please, let's close the orgasm gap already. Male entitlement, consent, and gender parity in relationships. At the same time, many of us have kindly asked the men in our lives to level up a little too. Don't worry, guys. Plenty of you are doing A-OK on the decent guy male ally front. In honor of Women's History Month, we ask women to think about their dating lives and share the new dating rules they've established. See what they had to say below. So here we go. Number 1. For me, over-the-top stories and comments about the crazy ex are a huge red flag. At minimum, there will be no second date, and I may likely cut our first date and last date short. This is from Sunny Megatron. She's named after a Transformer. Sunny Megatron, sexuality educator and host of American Sex Podcast. Guys, let me make this clear. This has nothing to do with M2, okay? What are the whys? If you guys date and do all that, don't talk about your ex on the first date, okay? You're just asking for trouble, okay? And if she brings it up, okay, try to keep it, try to I don't want to say have a silver lining, but don't try not to trash your ex, even if she deserves it, because that's going to bring negativity into the conversation and lead things down the wrong path, so to speak, on the date. So don't do that, okay? If you try to put a positive spin on that. And she's also going to think that, oh, well, this doesn't work out with me. He's going to say all these mean things about me. So just don't do that. So in terms of what she's saying here, I agree with, just as a good guideline for dating, trust me on this, but it has nothing to do with M2. Number 2. If in the middle of the first date he asks, but what did Louis C.K. really do? I'm dropping a $20 bill and leaving. Becky Choslecine, an actor, comedian, and writer in Brooklyn, New York. Well, I don't know who Louis C.K. is, so I guess Becky would be dropping me like a bad habit, because I have no idea what that means, but this is stupid. Number 3. Listen to this. I won't date a man who isn't secure enough to date me and kiss me in public. As a trans woman, most men who hit me up are too chicken to tell their friends that they're attracted to trans women. But I'm completely done with that. It's 2019. Straight men are into trans women. Deal with it. May Rude, a freelance trans writer and consultant in Los Angeles. Again, what does that have to do with M2? Number 4. Major deal breaker. His idea of being a self-proclaimed feminist or ally is simply retweeting Planned Parenthood every few weeks, but does absolutely nothing else to boost women or acknowledge his privilege. Oh, God. Oh, and if he doesn't eat PUSSY, it's over. That's not something straight men can still be refusing to do in 2019. Time's up on making stupid excuses. Allison Stevenson, a Los Angeles-based comedian, writer, and co-host of the V Single podcast. Guess what? Allison's going to be alone, because if, God forbid, he's not doing other things to boost these movements and acknowledging his privilege, give me a break here. And I don't know what she looks like, but probably he probably doesn't want to go south on her either. So, and what is she doing to deserve that? I might ask. Number 5. I am 100% over guys who enjoy treating actual circumstances of other people's lives, mine included, as fodder for healthy debate, full of theoretical situations where they play devil's advocate and invalidate experiences. Joe Ellen note, sex writer and educator. Number 6. If his response to M2 is not all men, or he tries to tackle the concept of toxic masculinity by only further proving its existence through his actions, then he can just yell into the abyss, because I will be nowhere near him. Bruna Nessif, author of Let That Shit Go and founder of theproblemwithdating.com. I knew these buzzwords were going to come up. I absolutely knew it. Give me a break here. Number 7. My deal breaker. An inability to talk about anything other than his job. I once went on a date with a surgeon who spent an hour talking about his neuroplasticity research and didn't stop long enough to actually check whether I knew what neuroplasticity was. What's worse was by the end of the date, he had never even asked what my job was. Michelle Elman, a body confidence coach and author of the forthcoming book, Am I Ugly? One Woman's Journey to Body Positivity. Well, here's the thing, guys, and I will say this. If she asks you about your job and all that, talk about it. But don't spend the whole time talking about that you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, guys, women want to talk, okay? Yes, if they like you, they're interested in you, what you have to say. But generally speaking, they want to talk. So you simply, again, these are for you guys to do dating and all that, you ask them questions. And if they like you, they'll talk your ear off, okay? And you just hang back and listen and ask questions, show that you're interested in her, because if you don't share your interest in her, it's not going to work. And the more she does the talking, the less she knows about you. And therefore, you're more mysterious. And that will cause her to have more attraction for you. But if you're babbling away the whole time, doing all the talking, and she's sitting there listening, guess what? She's going to feel like you obviously are so selfish that you're not going to, ask her about her and talk to her about her. And also that she's going to learn all these things about you. There's no mystery anymore. It's done. Just a little tip there. So this has nothing to do, again, with M2. Okay? But I'm going to point this out just in case any of you guys want to know. This is my opinion on it. All right, number 8. I refuse to date anyone who feels emasculated by a vibrator or thinks lube is an annoying extra step. Do you want me to enjoy myself? ? Zoe Ligon, sex educator and owner of SpectrumBoutique.com. Number 9. Oh, here we go. No Jordan Peterson fans. And Joe Rogan listeners on a case-by-case basis only. But the deck is heavily stacked against you, so I need receipts, like reoccurring donations to Planned Parenthood, paying for media created by women, and vocal support for female 2020 candidates. Also, go down on me first. It's the least you can do. Robin Morrison, a comic and writer in Los Angeles. Can't listen to Jordan Peterson. Pretty much no Joe Rogan. The guy has to donate to things like Planned Parenthood. The guy needs to support media by women. The guy needs to support female 2020 candidates. And he's supposed to go down on her first. Anything else? Who is this chick? Is she a supermodel? Does she warrant such behavior? I seriously doubt it. What universe are they living in that they think they can get away with this? Come on. But here's the thing. There are guys out there that are, unfortunately, given the programming over the years, that would fall into this bullshit. It's amazing. Number 10. I'll straight up ghost someone if they disrespect a server or tip poorly. The way someone treats service industry personnel can be a good indicator of their manners on the way they'll treat you when you're sick or in need of care. Bad treatment of service industry professionals, from rideshare drivers to bartenders, can also be a symptom of entitlement. Lisa, a comedian in Los Angeles. Well, this has nothing to do with M2, but I agree with this. Guys, don't be an asshole to people in the service industry, waiters, waitresses, bartenders, Uber drivers, whatever. I mean, if somebody is rude to you and giving you bad service and being disrespectful, call over the manager. You instantly have a free meal. Trust me on this. Because most people, when they're younger, have worked in one form or another in the service industry, either in restaurants or in retail, whatever. So, Don't act that way. Don't be that arrogant jackass that does that, you know. And I agree with this. You know, if I see a woman that's being that way, I'm out of there. It's over, okay? I worked in restaurants for years, and believe me, I dealt with a lot of assholes. So, I agree with that, but it has nothing to do with them too. Next one. Number 11. I would never again date someone who ridicules my spiritual practice or how I choose to take care of myself. I don't expect them to understand all of it, but a lover should always encourage you to do the things that make you feel good. Holly Cassell, a writer and witch in London. She's a witch, huh? My view, in terms of people's views and beliefs and all that, if they are doing what makes them happy and they're not trying to cause harm to anybody else, hey, live and let live. That's how I see things, okay? But again, nothing to do with them too. And it's funny that she's a self-proclaimed witch. Number 12. I refuse to date anyone who thinks a woman's orgasm is a myth, or that sex is complete when only the man has finished. Whatever her name is, Jackson, a writer in Chicago. Noticing a pattern here with some of these things. Number 13. I will not date men who haven't done their emotional work. It's a deal breaker if you haven't seen a therapist, done any sort of self-reflection, or don't have any experience taking responsibility in past relationships. I need to be with someone who's driven and focused on self-growth. Emily Morse, human sexuality expert and host of the Sirius XM radio show and podcast Sex with Emily. Well, guess what? Most people don't need to go to a therapist, and you shouldn't hold against them for not seeing a therapist. I mean, come on here. That's ridiculous, okay? And I'm all for self-improvement. I make that abundantly clear all the time in self-reflection, but that shouldn't be a prerequisite to go out with her, you know, pain in the ass self. But come on here, lady. Where does she qualify? I bet you if a typical guy started saying things that he wants, she'd be the same one that would get offended by that. Number 14. If they use the N-word as a non-black person, not only is there no second date, but the block bottom is getting hit as soon as possible. No discussion, no hearing their side. I'm getting my food boxed up and heading out to do anything else with my time. Rose Quacker, a comedian in Houston. Well, I agree with that. And if I hear that, you know, I'm out of there too. But again, this has nothing to do with them too. Number 15. If you're going to spend most of the day mansplaining about how important your corporate job is and how freelancing isn't a real job, then the date is over before we even order drinks. There's more security in my hobby than there is in your very important office job. Love. Kat Fyson, a lifestyle blogger in the UK. Well, clearly many times somebody has struck a nerve with her if she's bringing that up here. She's a lifestyle blogger. Good for her for doing well with that, but that's just being a little sensitive there, I think. But again, nothing to do with them too. And last one, and here's outright stupid, and this is not going to surprise you at all. 16, the last one. If he forgot to vote in the primaries, I'll forget to text him back. Jenny Gorick, a comedian in New York City. Gee, I wonder what group she's probably a part of, the you-know-what movement group, and I'm sure what political party she's probably a part of. Give me a break. If you didn't go vote in the primaries, that he's out, come on here. But then again, honestly, that woman's probably doing a guy a favor because she's probably someone that incessantly talks about politics, which is a major pet peeve of mine, that if I... Even around in terms of somebody that's a friend, if they're babbling about politics all the time, I'm walking away. I just can't take that shit anymore, especially after all these years. And it's not going to end anytime soon. But all right, guys, that is the 16 things that women will no longer tolerate after M2. And as you can see, as I've gone through all these, most of them are outright stupid or have nothing to do with M2. But there are a couple points that some of the women have made with regards to dating that I agree with, like treating the service staff with respect. Got to do that. You know, it's ridiculous, and you should not treat them with disrespect, or dropping the N-word and stuff like that, or trashing your ex on a date. That's just stupid, because if you actually are out with this girl and you like her and you hope to see her naked later on, trashing your ex is not going to lead you in that direction. So just don't do that. Even if you're dying to do it, just bury it down, keep your mouth shut, and let her talk. So, but all right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below and know what you think about this, and be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.